Right guys, welcome to another video. Thanks for tuning in. Gonna have to get up to speed. So I was kind of in two minds about making a video on this topic, but today I'm going to talk about why I stopped drinking. It's a bit of a touchy one, and the reason why I was in two minds about it, it's a bit revealing of things that are very personal, and honestly, it's just a bit embarrassing. A little bit of background on me. I'm 27 and I stopped drinking in January. Ever since, well, way before I was even legal to drink, to be honest, I've been drinking heavily. Ever since I was like 18 or 19, it's probably been almost every day. And it was never an extreme amount. Most days it was just every day consistently for like a really long time. My typical was always beers, but it would be an absolute bare minimum of one, and you know, up from there. And in my head it was always to kind of just knock the edge off and wind down from the day. But it became known that it was a problem when, for whatever reason, I couldn't have one, and it would like make me feel like shit and really put me on edge, and I would go out of my way to ensure that I'd have a drink in the evening, and that just went on for a really long time. So probably the best part of kind of 10 years. Sometimes were worse than others, but the main thing that made me identify that it was problematic is just that pull that I felt to it. Like, I just craved drinks every day, and it was very much a routine. It was quite easy to justify because my job is a little bit labor intensive, and then the things that I do after work have always been very labor intensive as well. So I would finish work, kind of burn myself out working on stuff, and then to kind of chill out and wind down, have, you know, 2 or 3 drinks before bed, just so I could sleep and sort of turn the volume down on my brain a bit. But I've always been like pretty conscious that it's kind of problematic, because without getting too into it, I had a pretty dodgy upbringing and I was kind of surrounded by alcoholics all the time, and it certainly runs in the family. So lucky enough to have kind of self-awareness with it. That's the background context of like what my drinking was like. I would get super anxious if I couldn't have a drink in the evening before bed. And if I ever had any significant amount of spare time, I would drink. I've always been super busy in workloads, so that's kind of kept it at bay a bit. But the moment I'm on, like, I've been on holidays in the past, or like the moment for whatever reason, like my day's opened up and I've got nothing better to do, I would just drink all day. So like, not crazy drinking, but a lot of it nonetheless. This is a lovely bit of road. Let's get the hammer down. Got extra power because we're going down a hill. Let's go. Approaching the corner. 66. A little bit of engine braking before the corner. Whee! I love the Grom, man. And it's funny how drinking has a knock-on effect to so many things. So I've always kind of been into fitness and I've always been pretty active, but when I'm drinking, I kind of don't care. I was quite overweight, to be honest. Since then, I've lost about 20-ish kilos, so I've lost quite a significant amount of weight. And to be honest, the biggest difference has been not drinking, because I was probably drinking like almost 1,000 calories most days. It stops you caring about your passions and stuff as much. I feel like drinking really draws you away from your kind of true self and who you're supposed to be. If it's problematic anyway, I don't think that everyone that drinks has got a problem. I'm not here to make that broad generalization, everybody's different. But for those who do, it certainly does kind of, it changes the trajectory of your life in a way that means that you're not doing the things that are important for your soul anymore, I don't think. Some people manage it, but I didn't. So like my hobbies and stuff would fall by the wayside, and I would stop caring about myself as much as I should, to making like just having kind of a really shitty, unhealthy lifestyle. The reasons I stopped is I just really didn't like the person I was becoming, and I could see it kind of getting worse. I knew that I was just going to be, if I didn't stop, I just knew I was going to be a heavy drinker for the rest of my life, and that's not what I wanted. I want to be the best version of myself. I don't want to be a shitty, excuse-making version of myself. Which is what you do when you've got a drinking problem. You make excuses for it all the time, and you justify it. One of the biggest reasons was, parenthood. I remember my boy said, it was the morning after, and there was some tins laying about, and he just noticed how much I drank, basically. He was like, you really like beer, don't you? And I was like, that's a shitty thing to hear, especially when deep down I knew that I had a problem. So leading up to it, I kind of knew that when 2024 started, I know it's a cliche to stop at the start of the year, but I'm quite good with deadlines and stuff. So I decided, come 2024, I'm not drinking for the year. My partner mentioned it, and she congratulated me on being sober for 6 months. And I didn't even notice it had been 6 months, to be honest, because my life's gotten so much better. It hasn't felt like, oh no, I've stopped drinking, life's shit now, I'm missing out on everything. Because to be honest, drinking for me was really counterproductive to the lifestyle that I want to live. I have an active lifestyle. I like riding mountain bikes, I like being outside, I like building stuff. Drinking all the time is really counterproductive to that stuff. I think I probably average 2 or 3 pints a day. Probably, I don't know, for on and off for, almost 10 years. With like the longest break I've ever had is probably 2 weeks. Come the start of January, I remember being at work. It'd been almost 2 days since I stopped drinking, and I remember getting to work, having my morning coffee, and then just being absolutely overcome with nausea. And like, when it first hit, I didn't really know what it was, but then I realized like that was withdrawal, which is just crazy, because I was slightly concerned that I would have withdrawal symptoms just because it's been so consistent for so long, and there it was, boom, I'm confident it was withdrawal. So that kind of tells you what you need to know, I guess, about your drinking when you get withdrawal symptoms from not doing it for 2 days. This hill is so steep. We are technically doing the speed limit though, about 1 mile an hour off. I bet if I tucked right, there we go, 50. I want this video to attract people that are maybe thinking about stopping drinking, or they've got questions about their drinking. One thing I would say is, if you feel a pull to have a drink every single day, you should think about stopping. It's certainly not easy, and it requires an adjustment. To be honest, like a big thing for me was, when I first stopped drinking, I had to be busy, and I'm still kind of the same. It's nice views down there. Look at that, gorgeous. It's a lovely evening. My routines, and they still are, were really important to me, of things that I would do when I would normally drink. So like a ritual I kind of had. So I would drink most days anyway, but on a Friday I would have a few more. So on the Fridays that I would normally have a load of drink, I would ride my mountain bike, and straight after I would go to my friend Mark's house, and we would hang out and just kick it back. Nothing too crazy. Sometimes it would be productive hangout, sometimes it wouldn't be. Still try to do as much as I can, to be honest, because it's good for my soul. But that routine change was really important for me, because if I was just at a loose end on a Friday night, I probably would have drank. So if you're considering it, really think about your routines and what you're going to replace drinking with, because you need to replace something with it. For me, it's been riding mountain bikes, riding motorbikes, and drinking Pepsi. It's kind of my vibe now, and my sort of endless projects I've got going. Yeah, you need to replace it with something good, something wholesome and fun, something that reminds you of why you stopped drinking in the first place. So initially, when I stopped drinking, I started going to the gym and stuff. I was losing lots of weight, and I was feeling way more fit on the Fridays that I would ride my bike, and that was really reassuring because I could feel the difference. So if you can work something into your routine that is like a very stark reminder of why you stopped drinking, like mountain biking is for me, then you should do that. Because every time I would, ride up a hill on a climb or something, I would be reminded that I'm fitter and it's easier now. And that was good motivation to not drink again. So it's been 6 months. What's changed? I'm 20 kilos lighter, way stronger, way fitter, and my self-confidence is way higher because of that. I feel good. Earlier I said the biggest motivation was my boy, but it was also, well, won't slip into neutral. It was combined. It was my boy and it was my partner. So knowing that I'm a much better version of myself for her, that fills me with pride and motivation to keep going with it. I don't want to ruin that by having a drink, and I don't want to disappoint my family. So now that the momentum is there, I think I'm kind of in it now. I do understand that one day I might drink again and might have to reassess things, but for now, I'm taking every day as it comes. My health is way better, and I'm really focused on my health as well. So I went from being like, not really giving a shit about my health to really giving a shit. So from one extreme to the next, really. What else has changed? I'm doing more of what I love. I am doing the things that are important to me. I'm fulfilling, my duty to myself to make my dreams come true and stuff, I guess. And the Grom was also kind of a treat to myself for not drinking, which I'm not saying you should treat yourself if you stop drinking. Maybe you should, actually. You should reward yourself. It's hard to stop drinking, and you need something fun to do when you stop. So my relationship's certainly better. I know I'm very lucky to have a super supportive partner. She never made any remarks about my drinking, but she was worried. Don't trust you one bit. Biggest thing though, if you're thinking about it, just do it. Do you want to race, mate? Come on, let's race. Yeah, I've been yapping for a while now. If I was to summarise it, my life is better now and I don't want to drink again. Maybe one downside to not drinking, and that's now that I don't drink, I almost never kind of chill and do nothing. Maybe it's something I need to work on, maybe it's not. I haven't figured that one out yet. I think as long as you make sure you don't get burnt out, then you're alright. And just be, in tune with yourself. I also get burnt out way less. That's an obvious one, but I think it's mainly because I'm just in better health. Doing over 40 up the hill, easily, dude. This thing's got power. And by power, I mean 9 horsepower, so not much. If you're a drinker and you found this video, you're an ex-drinker and you found this video, and you feel like making yourself known, drop a comment down below this. Let's chat about it. If you're serious about not drinking and you've got people around you that are going to be dicks about it, you kind of need to cut them off or stay away from them, because at the end of the day, your sobriety is proper important. Well, it's important to you as you make it. It does change social dynamics though. It's just a learning curve. So for instance, to be honest, I've never really been able to hack it anyway, but I really can't stand being in bars and being around like tons of drunk people, so I'm just not going to do it anymore. And I think if your friends and family love you, they'll understand. Oh, lovely gravel road. Thanks, council. Maybe that's a bit of advice I can offer as well, like shitty triggering situations, like, I don't know, if there's the kind of thing that you would normally drink at or that you find really stressful, if you can get away with not going, don't go, especially in the early days of your sobriety. I did, but I did that. There's certain things I got invited to by friends and stuff, and I tried to say no because I didn't want to drink and I didn't want to be there sober, and I knew it was going to be trying. So maybe that's something to bear in mind. at the moment you're considering it often, like I was, to be honest, for years, it's probably time to have a think about what to do. Because stuff like that is just not an option if you've got high expectations of your life and high expectations of what kind of person you want to be. I'm not saying everyone has to be sober, I'm just saying, you know, people that are likely to have a drinking problem should probably not drink. You know, if you're thinking about it and you've stumbled across this video, drop a comment down below. Let's see what we can do for each other. Could be a super lonely, shitty place to be, this planet, so if there's some support that we can extend to each other, we absolutely should. Yeah, that wraps it up. Thanks to anyone who tuned in to watch this video, I appreciate it muchly. I will catch you in the next one. Bye!